So what is up, Africana fam? Welcome to day one of the Powerpuff Girls series. I am back with a series and I'm better than ever. So if you want to see how I achieve this makeup and hair from start to finish, then keep on watching. So the wig sponsor I'll be working with today is from Tracy D Hair Studio. You could go ahead and check her out. This wig is just full of quality. As y'all can see, it's already pre-colored and also pre-plucked as well. It is a 13 by 6 and I believe it's 22 inches or 24 inches. So I want to go ahead and darken this color. I'm going to go in with my Adore dye in the color Cajun Spice. And you want to make sure you get a bucket of hot water. Get the hottest temperature on your tap. And I am just mixing the dye into the water with my comb. And you want to make sure that all the dye dissolves before you put your hair inside. So what I like to do, I just like to go ahead and put the ends in first and then, work my way up. And I'm just going to go ahead and comb through the hair, making sure that it's nice and saturated. And once that's done, I'm just going to go ahead and rinse that out and let that air dry. And as for the roots, I want to go ahead and do a dark root. I am using the color Rich Amber from the Adore collection, the Adore dye. And I am using just a brush. And I want to make sure that like my hair is parted in the middle so I can see exactly where I'm working with and how I'm rooting this hair. And I'm going to go ahead and start off with the perimeters of the hair first. I'm going to start with the middle section first and then on to the sides. And then I'm going to go ahead and work on one side and use a baby hair comb. And I'm just going to go ahead and just root it with the baby hair comb so I don't get any dye on the actual lace. And this will just help, with more precision when it comes to the rooting. And as y'all can see, to get an even root, I also like to apply it underneath the hair. So I like to apply it on top and underneath as well, so everything gets saturated. And this is the finished result. I let that sit overnight, so about 8 to 12 hours. And then I went ahead and rinsed it out and just use shampoo and conditioner. And once I am done with that, I let that air dry. And then these are the finished results. Y'all can see that root. It's just giving, y'all. Like, I really think I did my thing with that. So now onto the install. I'm going to go ahead and cut off the excess lace around my ear tabs. You want to cut around your ear tabs and make sure that the hair isn't covering your ears or anything. And I'm going to go ahead and do that on both sides. And now on to layering this hair. So I do have a full-blown tutorial on my channel of how to layer hair if you want to go ahead and check that out. But right now I'm just going to go through the hair really quickly, just showing y'all how I layer my hair. I kind of like to cut in like a V section and then go, in sections and just cut off any excess frayed hair around the ends. And at the ending, you'll see how like it just adds volume. Please add layers to your hair if you're trying to do curls, especially because this is going to be your curly look. And as y'all can see, those ends are nice and trimmed and ready to be curled. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and go in sections. I went ahead and use my Cheese Silk infusion serum on the hair all over. And I'm using my Babyliss curling iron in the 1 1/2 inch barrel. And I'm just going to go ahead and curl the hair in sections. You want to make sure that you're curling away from your face. So that means you're going to be curling in 2 directions on each side, I guess. Hopefully I explained that correctly. But on each side, you're going to curl away from your face, okay? And I'm just going to go ahead and pin those curls up with my duckbill just so that the curls can last and not drop, because I do have to do my makeup and apply this wig. And I don't want the curls to mess up because I hate styling my wigs on my head. It's so annoying. I'd rather just do it on a mannequin head and then put it on my head. So yes, pin those curls so it could, cool down and the curls can be bouncing. This is also how you make sure that your curls last way longer, okay? You're just going to keep on doing that until you get up to the closure. Now, the frontal. Well, when it comes to the frontal part, I'm not going to curl the frontal at all because the frontal will be the part that I'm going in a ponytail in. And you just want to make sure that you kind of cut off a little bit of hair in the frontal to kind of lay with the track so that there's no track showing when you put your hair in a ponytail, like how I did just now. Now, once all of that is done, I'm going to go ahead and pin up the curls, and I am now going to go ahead and use my hairspray. This is the Chi hairspray. I'm just going to go ahead and spray that all over the hair pretty lightly, just so that those curls can stay, okay? Now on to the install. I'm going in with my 91% alcohol, and I'm using a towel just to kind of wipe down my forehead for any dirts and creases and, you know, dirts and just oils on my forehead. Remove that. I went ahead and put on the wig on my head, and now I'm going to go ahead and cut some sections around my temple area. So overall, you should have 3 flaps of lace, just, you know, on your face. And I'm just adjusting it just to make sure that it is ear to ear before I go ahead and roll that back. And I'm going to be using my Erica J adhesive system. I'm going to go ahead and use the glue. And I'm only doing 2 layers of this. So I like to go in sections. I start off with the middle first and use my rat tail comb of the middle part just to kind of smear down that glue. And like I said, I'm just going in sections, you guys. I start off with the middle first and then the sides afterwards. And I did 2 layers. And now once that's done, I'm going to go ahead and bring down that middle flap, and you want to make sure that the hairline is in front of the glue, not behind the glue. And then I am just going to go ahead and do that all around the hairline. Okay, so I'll start off with the middle first, then I'm going to go ahead and start on one side and then the other. Again, make sure that the lace or the hairline is in front of the glue and not behind it or like right on top of it. You just want to make sure that you don't have any glue residue in front of the lace, because then it's going to get super duper messy. And I'm not doing any baby hairs on this, so definitely make sure you do this, okay? So yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and place it. And once I have it positioned where I wanted to, that's when I'm going to go ahead and press down with my fingers. Now on to cutting off the excess lace. I'm using my eyebrow razor and I'm cutting in a jagged motion. I like to use an eyebrow razor because it's kind of easier to cut in a jagged motion than just with scissors. So yes, I'm going to do that in the sections. Start off with the middle first and then start with the sides as well. And now when it comes to applying extra glue, I like to place it on the back of my hand, and I'm going to use the tip of my rat tail comb and kind of just, you know, outline the perimeter of where the lace ends at, just to make sure that the lace is, you know, like the lace is nice and tacked down. And once I apply those 2 layers, I'm now just going to go ahead and just press that down. And I'm doing that all around the hairline just to make sure that there's no lace sticking up or anything. And once that's done, I'm going to go in with medium heat, and I'm using the comb just to kind of place that lace down into the glue. Now on to melt this lace. I'm going to go in with my Fantasia Spritz Spray, and this is the Mega Hold Spritz Spray, and I'm going to be using my finger just to apply it onto my lace. And then I'm going to go in with an elastic band and let that sit for about 15 minutes. We're going to do 2 rounds of this, okay? So this is the first 15 minutes. I took it off. It's looking a little bit more melted, but I need it to be more melted. So I went in with my tint spray. This is the Amasleo Bay tint spray in the color Mocha, and I am spraying that all around my hairline because I still feel like I'm having that light line of demarcation between the lace and my skin, and I want to make it darker. So I'm just applying that and then applying another layer of spritz, and again just using your fingers just to kind of dab that in. and then going in with the elastic band again. And this time I went a little bit longer. I let it sit for about 25 to 30 minutes. And now I'm taking it off, and boom, y'all see that lace? It is melted, okay? So now to fix the hair, you know, the frontal, because we can't neglect the frontal, I'm just went in with my hot comb just to kind of train the hair upwards for the ponytail. And now I'm cutting out the section of my bangs. Now the easiest way to do your bangs is to have a middle part and then do just 2 triangles on each side. That's what I did just now, and then use my hot comb just to train it downwards. And that is how I usually, you know, get my bangs. And now I'm just going to go ahead and part a little section for my ponytail. I'm not going to put the entire frontal into the ponytail. I did have some of the sides of the frontal down and curled. And I'm just, again, using my hot comb just to train the hair upwards. And now I am just combing the hair and using my Gots to Be spray just to, you know, hairspray that ponytail so it's nice and slick, okay? So I'm just doing that and slicking that ponytail. And then I'm going in with an elastic band, and I'm just going to go ahead and just, you know, put my hair into a ponytail. And look at how sleek that is. I just kind of like, you know, pull it apart just so that the ponytail can be tighter. And now onto the bangs. So what I do is I like to take the hair and then twist it just once, and then go in with my scissors, and I like to use it at the middle of my nose, like right where my bridge starts, and then just cut straight across with some shears. And boom. And you always want to make sure that you cut shorter than what you anticipate, and then, you know, work your way from there. So I'm just kind of curling the hair just to see where the bangs will lay at, if I curled it and everything, and then further cut it. Bangs are a little bit messy, but you'll get the gist of it after a while. As you can see, these bangs are still too long, but I'm gonna fix it as well as just, you know, add some, you know, layers and stuff. And I went ahead and added some hair to the ponytail, and I am using some of the hair from the ponytail from the back piece, and I just use a strip of it and use Gots to Be spray and sprayed the piece just to kind of like, you know, clean up that ponytail. I'm going to wrap it around where the elastic band is. You're going to keep on doing that and wrapping it around and spraying Gots to Be spray until you are done. And then just to seal it off, just go ahead and just, you know, use that Gots to Be spray. And boom, look at that ponytail, y'all. She is giving. She is serving the girls up. And must I say, I feel like the roots definitely gave this hair some flavor. I feel like if I just did this with no roots, it'll be nice, but it's not gonna give like clean, you know? That's just me. But onto the bangs. The bangs is giving, you know, very much so 2008 Nicki Minaj. We're not trying to do that. No offense to her, but but I definitely wanted to take some density off of this bang. So what I'm doing is I'm just using my shears and cutting like directly upwards, like just snipping it off just to add some you know, take off some density off of that bang, because it was a lot going on. And as you can see, it cleaned up nicely. And I'm just using that same Babyliss curling iron and curling my ponytail, and I'm also pinning my ponytail as well too. And again, you want to make sure that on each side that you're curling away from your face and not towards your face. And the best way to know that you're doing that is to make sure that the clamp part is like up. If it's down, then most likely you're curling away from your face, or you're curling towards your face. So yep, now we got this bad boy clipped, and now onto the makeup. So for my eyebrows, I'm going in with this random red lip pencil that I got from Amazon. This is the Italia brand, and I'm going in with my spoolie just to make sure that I'm diffusing it throughout all of my hairs. And this will just serve as a base for the eyeshadow that I want to use and place it on top to give me that ginger effect. So I'm going into my Culture palette, and I am using the color Wazobi, and I'm using a shader brush just to kind of pat that into my eyebrows. And again, the red just served as a base so I could be able to apply it and for the ginger to show up. Now onto eyebrows. I'm using this flat shader brush, and I'm using my Born This Way concealer in the color Toffee, and I'm just going to go ahead and use that to clean up my eyebrows. So I like to clean up my eyebrows, and then when it comes to the top part for the eyebrow, to get rid of that halo effect, I just kind of bring the concealer upwards as I'm doing right now, just to kind of blend that out even more. And then I'm going to go ahead and use a buffer brush just to blend it all out. Now, all eyeshadows I will be using is from the Culture palette from Juvia's Place. So the first color that I'm placing on top of my crease is the color Kobo, and I'm gonna go in with Edo as my crease color, just to kind of darken up that crease a little bit, and go back into Kobo just to diffuse Edo, so like it's like nice and diffused. And I'm gonna go in with my makeup wipe just to kind of clean off my eyelid, especially where I'm going to apply my crease at. You want to make sure that you do this just to make sure that you have a nice crease. I like to use the tip of my nails because like I do have almond shaped nails. So I'm just kind of like digging in and kind of like low-key creating a crease, but not a clean one, but just where I'm going to apply my concealer at. So now going into my eyeshadow concealer, I'm using the P. Louise base in the color Rumor 1. And I'm just using that same flat shader brush that I use for my eyebrows just to kind of carve out my crease. I'm doing a half crease. I'm not doing a full-blown, cat winged crease. I'm just doing a half crease. So you do want to make sure that Edo is still kind of like showing at the edges or at the corners of your eyes or the ends of your eyes. And you just want to make sure that you're kind of just blending it out and making sure that it is nice and diffused and even as well too. So I'm going into Edo, and I'm just gonna go ahead and start blending those same colors that I use on my crease as well into my cut crease. And for the pink, I'm going in the color Calabari, and I'm placing that right next to Edo. This is a lighter shade of pink than the one that I used as my transition color. And then I'm going into the color Jigawa, and then I'm just placing that at the corners of my eyes. And then you just want to make sure that you kind of go back and forth into the color so that they're nice and diffused, and it doesn't have that, just like that blocky kind of look. I don't know that, I don't know how to explain that, but yeah, y'all know what I mean, just nice and blended. So I went ahead and used a matte liquid liner from NYX for my black liner, and for this pink one, I'm going into my Juvia's Place liquid liner, and this is the pink one, the light pink one. I forgot the name exactly of it, but it's the light pink one. And now that that's done, I'm gonna go ahead and cover my eyes and spray my face with the Milk Power Grip spray. This just helps set my face and get it prepped up for the foundation. So I'm using that in conjunction with the Milk primer, and this is the Power Grip primer, or the Hydro Grip primer, sorry. And I'm just gonna go ahead and put that down first just so we have a nice grip, and then I'm gonna top that with my Milk Matte Poreless primer, and I'm gonna use that just especially on my cheeks because that's where I have my biggest pores at and stuff, and that's where I kind of get oily the most. So I use the Milk Hydro Grip primer first, and then I'm going to go into my Milk Matte Primer, and I'm just applying that mainly around my T-zone area. And I'm just using an e.l.f. brush just to kind of buff that into my skin. So once I do that, I'm gonna go in with my Huda Beauty pressed powder in the color Cinnamon Bun. And I like to do this just so that my face could be matte, but also to kind of fill in my pores. And once I started doing this, this is like a true game changer in my foundation game, y'all. Like, please do this. Make sure you use a setting powder before you apply your foundation. Your face will stay matte all night long. Okay, so now on to foundation. I'm using two foundations. I'm using my Lancome Tint Idol in the color 560, and then I'm using my Makeup by Mario in the color 29N, and I mix those two just because it's summertime, a little bit darker. So yeah, I just like to mix those two because the formulas of those two are just remarkable. My face always ends up being flawless. So I'm going in with my Real Techniques brush in the I was about to say in the color my Real Techniques buffer brush. Oh my goodness. And I'm just gonna go ahead and buff that into my skin. Now on to concealer. I am using my Born This Way concealer in the color Toffee. I like to use Toffee in my around my eyes, and then the rest of my face I'm gonna go in with the same Born This Way concealer but in the color Cocoa. And now I'm going into my Real Techniques face brush just to go ahead and blend out the concealer that I put on my face. So I go ahead and do that. And then I just go back in with my foundation brush just to kind of like blend out the edges of the concealer so that the concealer can marry both, you know, the foundation and the concealer. Y'all know what I'm getting at. And I'm using my small buffer brush that I use for my eyebrows just to kind of blend out my nose area. And then now I leave the eyes for last to go ahead and blend out. So now I'm just going to go ahead and use this eyeliner brush, and I'm using my Milk contour stick in the color Spaced just to go ahead and contour my nose. And I'm going to be using this angled buffer brush just to, you know, diffuse out and blend out that contour. So now on to setting my face. I'm using my Huda Beauty powder in the color Cinnamon Bun, and I'm just going to go ahead and set my concealer. And I'm just applying that wherever I apply my highlight / lighter concealer. And now on to contour. I'm going into my Juvia's Place bronze palette in the color Deep Dark, and I'm using the darkest one just to go ahead and, you know, apply that in my nose area. And for this blush, I'm going into my Volume 5 blush from Juvia's Place, and I'm just applying that. It's like a pink shade. I'm going to apply that pink shade as my blush just to, you know, give her a rosy look because, you know, Blossom is pink. So yeah. So now on to, you know, this freestyle. I did get this from Naysver Looks. Go ahead and check her out. She's extremely dope. On top of the eye look, I got from Plumie Puzzle You on Instagram as well too. So I can't take all this credit when it comes to this inspo. I kind of just, you know, conjoined the two and got this. So I went in with my NYX liquid liner, and I'm just kind of like, you know, creating this abstract shape. And I'm gonna go ahead and use this black shadow from my Juvia's Place, I believe the Warrior 2 palette, and I'm just using that black shade. And then I'm going in with my Juvia's Place holographic duochrome eyeshadow in the color Kente, and also in the color Fula as well too, just to kind of, you know, give it that abstract look. And this is what I got. I thought it was super cute. It's different. Definitely wanted to give a different vibe for Blossom. I just didn't want to keep it, you know, regular makeup. You know, I wanted to get a little bit more creative when it comes to like my makeup and stuff, and it actually came out super dope. So I'm just gonna go ahead and just use a small buffer brush just to kind of buff out those duochrome eyeshadows against that black. And yeah, these are like the results that I got. Now for highlight, I am going to go ahead and use my Amrezy highlight from Anastasia Beverly Hills. I'm applying that in conjunction with this pink highlight that I got from ColourPop. I forgot the name of it, but it's pink. And I just mixed those two together and I got that. And I'm going in with my NYX black lip liner or eyeliner, to be honest. And I'm just using that to line my lips. And then I'm going to go in with the color Sorbet from NYX Butter Gloss. And I'm mixing that also with my Juvia's Place lip gloss in the color Monroe or Moreau. And then lastly, mixing that with their Soul Glaze lip gloss. And this is like the look that I got. Now to set my face, I'm using my Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Setting Spray. And then I'm going to go ahead and pat that in. And y'all, do y'all see the skin? Like the skin is just flawless, okay? Y'all can't tell me nothing about this base. But now on to fixing this hair. I'm going to go ahead and recurl those bangs because, you know, I did some damage to those bangs when I put it back into, like, you know, whatever I put it into. But yeah, y'all, I'm going to go in with my hot comb just to make sure that those bangs are, you know, nice and low. And now I'm going to go ahead and take down those curls. It's time to unleash the beast, okay? So I'm taking down those curls. And I'm going to use a pretty wide tooth comb or a brush actually just to brush it out. A paddle brush just to brush it out. And overall, as y'all can see, the look has come together and these are the finished results. I hope you guys enjoyed day one of the Powerpuff Girls series. This is Blossom. As y'all can see, she is looking super cute. So go ahead and drop some pink hearts and catch me tomorrow for day two.